So welcome again, everybody, to another episode of Automated Marketer and Website Rescue. So again, if you've been following along, we are kindly building out basically an old church website, and we're basically trying to see whether or not we can salvage it and make it where it's just going to be a little bit more functional and easier to use, especially for the users and for the church. And what we're going to be doing today is just kind of like recapping a little bit of what's been done. So far, we've been breaking apart the site. Over time, we've been building the site to do it. But more importantly, what we've been doing is also creating the automations in the background. Now, a lot of what automated marketer is about is like, one, automating your business so then you can just get more time back so you can do a little bit more. And what's cool is you can pretty much automate any other business. We're showing you and giving you an example of like how to automate even a simple church. And how to basically take all the things that are in there and just kind of really operate and manage your business. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And okay. Oh, I just learned that there is a different, you know what? This is hilarious. I've actually forgot how to share my screen.
By the way, hello, everyone.
Andy's oh, this is funky. Look at this. All right. So if you've been following along, like we've been mentioning before, and actually let's go to this view. I think this is a little bit easier.
What's up, guys? JT Shaver.
Somebody's hitting the button. And what we wanted to do is basically go in here and go into the automations that we built already. Now, if you've been following along, all we wanted to do is when somebody fills out a form online, we created an automation in where they're going to be basically receive a response, even a text message, and even a voicemail welcoming them to the actual church. What we maybe wanted to do today, and we were going to have a little fun with it, is when somebody actually texts directions to the actual church number or the number we're going to give them. So today what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and we are going to do text automation. So I like creating folders. And by the way, for anybody that's joining, we're using a tool called Highlevel. It's one of our favorite tools. And it's by far like changed a lot of the way we operate, both in the agency and out. And I got to tell you, it's probably been one of the best investments that we've been making, not only in learning it, but even with our customers. We put every single customer of ours into this tool. Go ahead, Andy.
You know, I love this thing more and more every day that we use it. I have old clients of mine, Celia, who we've brought into this business, and who it's revolutionizing her business. She's like, she didn't even know she could do all this stuff, and it's making it so that she doesn't have to individually email everybody all the time. She used to literally individually email every single lead. She didn't send out a newsletter. She didn't send that. All her follow-ups is all done in automation. Done.
Yeah, and we build them. We got a couple cool systems now. Like 3 of the businesses that we're building right now. One is an actual recruiter where he's going to be doing a lot of recruiting and going through, and he has different services that he offers. We have another one where it's consultants, and it's a group of consultants. So we've built in a full back-end system to basically help them kind of not only integrate internally, but basically allow them to communicate with their clients and so forth. And there's a limited users in this particular software, so it makes it really easy. And another project is we're also creating where it's a full, like almost like a mastermind, and where people are kind of consolidating, and there's a little bit of group management and stuff in there. So a lot of that's already happening here. So when we go in here, if you see text messages, what we're in the process of doing, what I want to do is whenever I text the word directions to the church number that we're going to provide, that it's going to spit out a Google My Business or Google Maps kind of like plot where they hit the button and automatically will put it into Google Maps. So let's figure out how we're going to do that. So with anything that we do in automations, there's always got to be something that starts it. So the way we're going to start it is we're going to create a new workflow, start from scratch. And here, what's really cool, and we're going to go right in here, as long as that the site's creating. There is a little delay I've noticed today, but we're also sharing a lot of screens.
No, it's been on everything, Nuno. I don't think it's just.
Oh, you think it's like maybe Cloudflare is having a hiccup today, like it sometimes does.
Like I haven't seen my mouth moving after I got done talking.
All right. Wow, that is definitely taking a hot minute. But something else that Andy and I were talking about is like local trends that we're starting to see that are really starting to impact a few businesses. Is one, you know, when it comes to local businesses, because a lot of our customers are local businesses, is making sure that we're consistently doing something to making sure that the customer is aware that we exist. So whether it's sending out a guide, whether it's just kind of having an ad rotating, you don't have to spend a lot of money on the ads to do that. If you just want an ad that's kind of like popping up and just making sure that people are aware that you're a service in the area that people can access. Because a lot of what happens now is there's a lot of basic attention issues with anybody that's online. I mean, it was funny. We were like, we're getting into TikTok, and it's hilarious. Andy's daughter Ava is actually teaching us about TikTok.
It's great when
and she is incredibly advanced. It's actually very interesting the things that you can do there. But it's relevant because even if I don't really, if I go on and just I share a tip and somebody kind of catches on and they look me up, it flows around and it kind of gets you really out there. We know a guy who's a lawn care guy that TikToks videos on like his before and afters. We also know a woodworking guy. I don't know if I told you, Sandy. This guy does floors. He is killer on Instagram. So what he does is he shows the befores and afters, and then he records like while he's doing the job. And he's got like 65K followers, and people will just log on just to see them working and just the before and afters. So I think it's really, really cool.
That lawn care guy is really cool. What he does is in the first part of the video, it's like a multi-part video. I saw it too. He goes up to the person's house with the overgrown lawn and he goes, "Hey, I'm here. I know it seems weird. It's totally for free, but I have to film it." And he films it. And people watch these videos of this guy mowing guys. And he does a fantastic job, like real landscaper. But wow.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I saw that. Yeah, so see what we have here, Andy. We have a text message directions, right? So what's going to happen is that anytime somebody does a customer reply, so that's how we kind of initiate this, right? And you're like, well, how's it a reply if nobody's ever really done? Well, we'll have this on the website that says, hey, type in the word directions and directions will go directly to your phone. So that's what we're going to type doing. So the thing with these like respond to like kind of text is we have to be very clear on how people are going to type it in, because if it's a little bit off, it sometimes won't work. So I'm going to put reply channel SMS, which is basically code for text messages.
Now, does that mean like you have to make it different? Like if they put in directions, but if it's capitalized with a capital D instead of, or in all caps, does that make it not work?
Now, if you do an exact match, yeah, but if it contains a phrase, it technically is supposed to work. But I've always, I don't know if you remember when we ran that bot, we ran like a whole event bot, and it was awesome. We had so much fun doing it. And it was for a 150 person event. So it wasn't a huge event, but it was great that the bot answered a lot of common questions. What we did realize is that when we put the certain things on there, that if people responded with like capitals or not, it wouldn't actually trigger and fire. So we had to go back in there and kind of work through that though. So I'm hoping soon that they're going to put a little or here, because the or will probably help it out. But for now, it just doesn't have it.
Question.
So, yeah, go ahead.
One more question that is related to that. If a person just sends an email to the system and in the sentence it says, "Hey, I need directions for my life,"
yeah, would trigger it. Yeah, that would trigger this. But this is because it's an SMS. It would only be if we put it directly into the actual text message. So the only way to get around that is if you do an exact match phrase,
or do like church directions or something like that.
Yeah. So for instance, we can do the exact match phrase and just put it right there. Now, the cool thing, if you're using a phone, I don't know if it's cool or not, but what happens is when you're putting in the directions here, iPhone will automatically capitalize the first letter. So I don't know if you know that or not. So we have to anticipate that. So again, same thing, customer replied. We're going to do all three. I do all text, all lowercase, and all one capital in that. And that usually
covers it.
You know, I mean, no reason to get bananas on here. So directions, just like that. Cool. I'm going to go ahead and hit save.
You have a filter before? No, there's no filter.
Yeah, we did. No, you're absolutely right.
I was paying attention.
Right? It's not like in school, right? When you would fall out. Oh man, I would fall asleep all the time in class. It was horrible. And I used to get in so much trouble. So here, what we're doing is we're just anticipating that people are going to type the text message back, probably in lowercase or uppercase. So we're just making sure that it matches this. So then it doesn't have any kind of crazy things going on here. So we have lowercase. Well, what do you call that? Like capitalization. We have all uppercase. Yeah, we're now also going to do the lowercase one. And then contains, oh, not contains. We're going to do the exact match. And we're going to do all lowercase. I noticed that I'm taking it and I'm also copying this and I'm dropping it in here because I want to make sure that if I have to fix the starting trigger, I know which one it is. So then they're not all seeing the same thing. You see how much easier that is? And I don't know why that capitalized. Isn't that weird? See how it capitalized?
Oh, that could be confusing.
That's
So
interesting.
you could do like parentheses, all lowercase.
Yeah, let's see if that works. That's interesting. See, all these little things that these softwares will always mess with you on. Go ahead and save trigger. It still did it. Go figure. All right. Well, anyway, we'll know that that's the differentiator. Now, what I want to do is I don't want to make this super overly complicated. All I want to do is send a text message out.
Okay.
And come over here. And then it's just going to be, here are, click the link below to have this open on your Google Maps. And I think I shared this like little cool trick I learned.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go to Google Maps and you come over here, and if we type in
Miracle Missions, Full Gospel Church.
telling Miracle
Missions, Full Gospel Church, that first one right there.
Boom. What we could do is we can have this share, copy that, and it automatically does it, or you can send it directly to a phone. But what we're going to do is that, and then boom, sweet little thing right there. It pulls it up on Maps. And what's cool is if you're on Google Maps, you just says directions to from where I'm at, and it goes directly there. Now we have an automation just for directions. So that kind of covers a very simplistic thing you can do. I know it sounds cheesy, but think about it. Like if I'm about to go into, like a church and I need to get directions, here we go. What if you want to get like an automated reminder every time?
But how do they put the directions in? We got to show how we put the chatbot on the website.
That's right. Well, but it won't necessarily be in a chatbot. This will probably be instructions directly in there because the chatbot necessarily doesn't work like that. The chatbot, what it does is it allows you to put messages in, but not necessarily messages out. If we wanted to do it on the chatbot, I think we'll have to do it this way. So if we do customer reply, let's do chat. No, didn't think so.
Because if customer replied in the chat.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see if we can do in the filter in the chat, which I think you can. Reply channel.
Chat widget.
Chat widget. It'll be the same thing.
Good.
Exact match.
And you can't do multiples here, right?
No, you can't. That's the only thing that kind of stinks about it. You can't really do multiples. But here we'll have chat, and this will be capitalized. Maybe, wow, that's definitely not how you spell capitalized.
Caps. Just say caps.
Caps. There you go. Save, and then, man, and using the search has saved me tons of times. I don't know, like when I was first building in here, I would never do that. I would always like scroll down to find things. It was so annoying. And then
chat widget.
Chat widget. Exact match phrase, and then this time will be all caps. And I don't know why some people just like write in all caps. Have you ever noticed that? Like I know it's like some of like
I do.
Yeah,
It's a nasty.
It drives me crazy.
I do it all the time. My wife makes fun of me for it.
Like
she loves me.
Go.
See, now I love doing these automations because we're automated marketer. I want to do so many more of these lives where we just build out all automations all day. That way, somebody.
I think like an automation, like I don't know what's the word. An automation like
no,
marathon?
just No, well, no, but I mean, it would help with the search terms on YouTube that people can look up how to do an automation for directions.
Yeah, so this is actually a pretty good idea. I didn't even think about the chat widget. Yeah, we're gonna definitely have to try this out, chat widget.
This is good for a restaurant. This is good. Anybody who has a brick and mortar location.
Well, correct. It could be for anybody that has a brick and mortar location. It doesn't matter what pages you want. People getting directions and going and finding your place are super critical to your business, regardless of which. So we tell all local businesses this is something really cool that you can do, and it's nice and organized, right? So we would come over here, we would turn it on, and obviously we would try it out. So this is one of the things that, again, just simple little automation. But imagine you getting a call or whatever else. You could just say, just chat. Just type in the word directions inside of our or to our phone number, or more importantly, in our chat widget, and automatically shoots out a Google Maps listing that gets you wherever you got to go. I mean, you can't beat that no matter what you do. And then the other thing is, what about?
Well, why don't we switch for just a minute, and I'll show how to put the chat widget into the website.
Oh yeah, that's a really good idea. Let's do that. So hold on. How do I always forget this?
Okay, so just so you know, if anybody who's watching, we have our own version of this is Highlevel, and it's great. But we call ours Rapid Active CRM. We might be changing the name to Automated Marketer, but this is stuff
that's becoming more and more of a thing. Like,
yeah,
I really like your idea on that. That was definitely an Andy idea.
So the thing is if you want this for your business, these kind of things are readily available. So what we have is the code right here. And now we can enable the chat bubble. We can change the picture so you can use a picture of someone in here, or a picture of yourself or your logo. You can put in any information like that, change the colors. I'm going to use it as it is right now. And I'm just going to copy this code. And then, as you can see, here's the homepage of the website. Oops, sorry.
Oh, that would be such a cool thing. I didn't even think about that. I mean, this for a church would I saw no competitors having a chat widget.
Right. Actually, you know what I'm going to, can I have fun for just 1 minute? I know we're busy, but look, I love having fun. If I go to the Present Miracle Missions website and I go to the pastor and I'm going to take a picture of his face.
Oh, look at that. That is actually really, really cool. That's a very, very cool idea.
Okay, I am taking a picture of his face. I've downloaded into my screenshots. Watch this now. I am going to then, I have a screenshots folder. I'm going to upload his, look at that. I've got his face as the chat.
So cool.
Okay.
That is actually really cool.
I'm going to,
pretty amazing.
And then I'm going to pick this color, this dominant color. Whoops, sorry. Didn't do it right. Let me just do it again. I'm going to pick this dominant color. And then I'm going to go over here and I can put the widget color right in here. Look at that. Change the color to their colors. Okay. Now I'm going to get the code. Hold on. I just want to make sure that this is right. And I'm going to hit save. Now I'm going to get the code. Copy the code. Here's their website without. I'm going to go into Divi here. I'm going to go into the theme options. I'm going to put it into the body of the integrations.
Now, this might be a little complicated, but trust me, it takes all of 5 minutes, and
we'll have complete directions. Bang! Look at that, Nuno.
Really cool. Actually, so can we do we have on this site? Do we have?
Now I'm going to do this, Andrew Klepner. I'm going to put in my phone number, and nobody's watching.
No, wait, because we don't have a number in here.
Oh, okay. So we don't have that set up. But if I put my phone number in here and I did the directions, it would work immediately. But that's basically how you can do it. So now every time they go to this website, they can feel more connected to the church because they see their pastor able to answer a question. How freaking cool
that is actually pretty cool. That is really, really cool. But again, we have directions sign up. They can even get automated reminders. We could create one that says, hey, I want to be reminded every time there's a new live stream or whatever else. We can literally type it in where they either use a little chat widget to put in the words reminders, and it will automatically put them in a sequence to remind them every time, like, they're starting a particular, show or whatever the case might be. Same thing would also go if they would do it. They would text message the actual number of the church. It would work the same exact way. But these are the few things that people take for granted when it comes to automation. Do you know the number one, and I read this today, which is crazy statistic. Do you know that the number one thing that all major local businesses have the biggest problem with? I'll let you guess.
FAQs, people asking the same questions over and over.
No, not necessarily. What do you think of like a busy business owner? What do you think the one thing that they have a hard time doing?
Getting back to people.
100%. The follow-up is where most local businesses fail. Right. So a lot of what the automations do is at least start the follow-up process for you, or so automated enough that you don't have to forget that it's there. That's why this is so critical. To your point, like landscapers can do this. Anybody in their right mind has this ability is able to do this.
You know what this is? This is all about acknowledgement. Something that you always harp on me about, 100%. Which is a good thing, is that just acknowledging to the client that you see them gives them that warm, fuzzy feeling. And if you can make that just a part of your system, that it automatically does it, they feel the acknowledgement. And then you know that that person has been talked to, so that they know that they've gotten that we got the message.
Well, and let me give you the prime example. We ran ads for a dentist, one of our clients, and when we ran ads, we were getting tons of leads. Mm-hmm. So we get on our monthly call with the client and we ask, "Hey, how are the leads going?" She's like, "What leads?" And I'm like, "What leads?" And it was like, "Well, there's a sheet here that's available for you that's showing all the leads coming in, but more importantly, all the calls are coming in here." I mean, we track everything. So it was able to really, and then I was like, well, it seems or it feels like we're getting less calls. And I'm like, how did it feel like you're getting less calls? I mean, that's like, you didn't even know how many calls you were getting prior to start tracking. But the one key thing is that what we noticed when we went back and did all the tracking and we can listen to all the calls, they weren't being picked up. And more importantly, the leads were coming in, they weren't being followed up again. Yeah. So that does cause a significant problem. Now, a little training here, a little, kind of doing things a little bit differently and just ensuring that the staff is picking up the phone immediately increased their sales. Now,
I remember one thing that was in particular about this is that you had a text message go to the staff members and to the doctor. And we were showing that we got so many leads that the doctor said, "Okay, stop texting me because it's driving me nuts." And it went to the person it needed to go to. So I remember that.
Yeah. So, I mean, but it was things like that because we were generating the leads. Now, here's the other thing. A lot of people just kind of the misconception about ads and everything else. Make believe. Oh, you know what? Like, I don't know if you ever knew this there. And I know you're a big foodie and you probably love this. There was a place when we used to live in Union, New Jersey called the Soup Hut. It was a little hole in the wall. Like, I mean, when I'm talking about hole in the wall, it must have been I don't even know how a person fit in there. Like, there's literally one big litter in your hallway, and all it was people serving soup in a bread bowl. The lines were out the door, and there was no door. That was okay. So even funnier, there was no door. So during the summer, it was called the Ice Hut. During the winter, they called it the Soup Hut, but nobody knew it existed. And it was literally a little hole in the wall that fit maybe 1 to 2 people, and it was a streamline. So when they passed each other, they had to go sideways. The soup was amazing because they served it in a massive bread bowl. And it was like, oh my God, it would be cold outside. You'd be going in to see the steam, but nobody knew it existed. Like, nobody knew it existed. It was one of the best kept secrets. Like you had to know about it, like in order, or somebody had to tell you about it. It's not open anymore. I think they shut it down, but it was a brilliant idea. So they did like those like Hawaiian ices like during the summer, and then they converted it to selling and it only served like 3 soups. That was it. And it was like a ladle and a big old bread bowl. It was amazing. Mm-hmm. They sold out every single night. But the problem was that nobody knew it was there. But that's the thing of what an ad does, though. Everybody thinks an ad leads to always convert. That is not always the case. An ad just needs to generate interest enough And then your automations and your process and your marketing should be taking out after over. And more importantly, your follow-up. Now, let me ask you a question, Andy. You're a business owner. You're a landscaper guy. Landscapers like are always busy during the summer. It's impossible to even get a hold of one. Impossible. But guess what? In the winter, a lot of them do snow removal, but nobody knows about it. They just don't know about it. All of a sudden, you get a flyer in the mail, and it's like 4 weeks after the first snowfall, and you're like, I already got a guy. But imagine you had a little text reminder that just went directly to your phone and just said, hey, call Andy. He might be interested in snow removal.
I got a better idea.
Go for it.
How about this? Well, we'll have an automations jam. So how about it works better this way? Landscaper has all these clients during the year, right? But he's slow, to your point, November, December, January, February. We get some winters here, no snow. We get other winters, ridiculous, like over our head snow. So he texts he knows by watching the news, the landscaper, I'm assuming it's a he, but the landscaper.
Oh, I know where you're getting this blast.
Watch it. Let me finish. Let me say, watches the news, sees that nor'easter coming. There's going to be 20 feet of snow. He texts all of his clients at once. Hey, do you want to pre-reserve me? He could send out a little message.
Only 20 spots open, premium pricing.
Right, 20 spots open. Get on my list now, and I'll do your. Oh my God, a kid could do this with for lawn mowing. But anyway, so he sends it out, and then they say and reply.
Yes.
Reply shovel, because that way it's a reply shovel, and it automatically sends them to gets them on his list and gives him the address, and he has his list. That I bet you we can make the address so he can figure out his route.
100%. Because the second they say yes, and it'll probably shoot back to confirm your address is, and they say yes, and then right after they say yes, there's another automation that kicks in that sends it directly to him. You have now been reserved. And all he has to do is like, sorry, like once it hits a certain spot, is just like end it.
You can even make him pay for it through it.
Well, 100%, because you can do it right at text to pay link. I mean, and you can just have somebody manages. You can literally be on your couch and doing this.
Because most of those guys, oh my God, and most of those guys are stuck in their 4x4 doing the snow plowing.
I know my guy is. He's amazing, but yeah, he's always stuck in his truck.
And then they get a bing that says, hey, you got to go to this.
You know, my guy, he wants checks. I'm like, you're killing me. I'm like, who writes a check? I barely keep a checkbook on anything.
I had one checkbook for 8 years.
Same here. My checkbook's like 10 years old. And I'm like, my landscaper the other day, the landscaper is great. And the landscaper is great. And he makes me send a check every month. And I literally wrote back. He's like, can I literally on the note, he's like, hey, I'm a marketing guy. I can automate this for you, which I literally wrote it. I'm not even playing. And I'm like, I could automate this for you, make your life a whole lot easier. And he's like, do you want me to create a link for you? And it was just really funny. But this is where you just got to think a little bit differently. And this is where people get stuck. I mean, look what we're doing all for the church. And the automations are endless. We're going to get into a little bit more, automating a lot of local businesses. We're doing a church because the church is like, who can automate a church? Like what, and if we figured if we can automate this and make this thing sing, then a local business will
you know what? I mean, I know that we're talking about a church, but just to switch religions for just a second, if you think about the Jewish New Year is coming up in 2 weeks, if you can automate buying your tickets to the Jewish New Year ceremony, which they have every year, it's called Rosh Hashanah. If you could automate, do you need directions to the synagogue? Do you want to make telling them what hours it's going to be, automating all that? Because the amount of phone calls, I'm not kidding, the amount of FAQ phone calls that these people get with what time does the service start? What time should I be there? How should I dress? If you could have that on automatic, that would save a lot of time that one person doesn't have to pick up the phone and explain that and so forth.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I think that there's a lot here that we can really
Christmas services with churches. Oh, donate. Oh my God! Oh, there's so many things.
Yeah, I mean, we really got to get the church on. Maybe we'll invite them to the live stream and
we should
and see if they're up for it. But yeah, actually, I think that's one of the things we got to do right after this.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna keep it short. Actually, Andy and I are cooking on and steaming on some crazy things that we
Yeah,
got
big
going right
musty.
now.
Wait, that didn't sound right.
It didn't sound similar whatsoever. That was, again, our favorite term. That was absolutely hot garbage. And then it's one of my favorite things that you say. But with that being said, tune in for next week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Watch it on replay. And again, if you have an automation or you have a business that you're trying to figure out how to market a little bit differently, we're your guys. Come on live or just join us and ask some questions. We'll answer everything that we possibly can. All right. So with that being said, we'll talk to everybody soon. And thank you again for joining us.